Chapter 4. Destruction of an Empire. On the road to the capital of the Super Magic Empire, a group of 5 travelers and 1 fairy walked down the path. Their appearance was that of common adventurers, with one of them passed out on a horse. "So, how did you summon that horse?" asked Ramirez. "He has been my trusted companion since before I became a king," answered Arthur. "He decided to follow me here and become my familiar." "Makes sense," said Ramirez. She looked over at Irisvale. "Can you explain to me what power he used to heal the forest?" "Well," said Irisvale, "that is what I thought, but I think I was wrong. Also, his magicules are fully restored, so I think Rosaline is keeping him asleep." "His manas?" shouted Ramirez. The other girls started laughing as Ramirez wore a confused look. "Well," said Mordred, "of all the people that have a direct connection to him, there are 2 Rosalinas, his female persona and his mother." As Ramirez heard this, her jaw dropped as Abigail continued. "Dragons can change their genders at will," said Abigail, "and sometimes if they wanted to, they could change their personality with their gender. This world doesn't have that." "No, there are only 4 true dragons," shouted Ramirez. "So you're telling me in your old world there were more?" "Around half the population," said Arthur. Ramirez fainted on the horse. After a few moments, Ramirez woke back up. "So, what ability did he use?" she asked, getting back on topic. "The spell is called Nature's Blessing," said Irisvale. "The spell uses 3 of his origin skills in combination to restore the magicules in the woods used in the summoning." "That makes sense," said Ramirez, "and due to him having a low level of magicules, it put him in sleep mode." "Pretty much," agreed Irisvale. "And since Erogon was conscious during his time in the void, he probably made his female personality into another person. When he entered this world, his female form became his manas. It was probably the only way he kept himself sane." As they continued along the road chatting, Erogon was awake within his own mind. "So, how much are you 2 going to yell at me?" asked Erogon, looking at both Rosaline and Veldanava within his mind space. "No," said Rosaline, "I just wanted you to rest a little longer. Your mind is severely damaged due to your time in the void." "I would agree," said Veldanava, "but that is not the reason I came." "Then what?" responded Erogon. "I will lose most of my powers when my child is born," Veldanava said, "so I would like to ask you if you can be her guardian." "That's fine, Veldanava, and I won't be the only one watching over her," responded Erogon. "And how long will I be asleep?" "True," said Veldanava. "I thank you." He vanished from the space in Erogon's mind. "From my calculations," said Rosaline, "about 4 months. I will command your servants to retrieve Shayna, Alistair, and Hecate." "Can we interrupt the summoning?" asked Erogon. "No," responded Rosaline. Erogon closed his eyes in his mind, allowing himself to rest. As the group approached the main gate to the Super Magic Empire capital, Erogon's body slowly changed into a female form, and her eyes opened. "Morning, Erog," started Arthur. "Oh, Rosaline." Ramirez looked at Erogon's new form in shock. "So, who is in control?" "Rosaline," she answered. "Master needs to rest for some time to recover from the void. He left this operation to me to finish." The 4 girls nodded. "I best be going then," said Ramirez, flying off. "Have fun." They entered the capital and found an inn quickly, settling in less than an hour or 2 later. "Mon," said Rosaline, stretching. "Master is so tense. Hey Eerie, use search magic to locate Shayna and Hecate. All I can tell is that they're in the city, and Alistair is inside Shayna." Eerie was Rosaline's nickname for Irisvale. Irisvale sighed. "Very well." She cast the wide-range spell Subtle Search and began looking for the souls in question. "Oh," added Rosaline, "and Abby, thanks for bracing Master's fall when we lost consciousness." Abby was Abigail's nickname from Rosaline. Erogon's and Rosaline's personalities were almost like night and day. Where Erogon was calm and calculating in tactics, Rosaline was energetic and easygoing. "Not a problem," said Abigail. "I'm surprised you keep acting like Erogon in Ramirez's presence. I thought that your personality was destroyed." "True," said Rosaline, "but Master is going to rest for longer than I told him." "Really?" asked Mordred. "Why is that?" asked Arthur. Rosaline let out a massive sigh. "Master was more damaged than I led him to believe. I told him I would wake him up in 4 months, but what I meant was 40 years for his mind to recover." "Are you kidding me?" exclaimed both Mordred and Arthur. "But why that long?" asked Abigail. As you know, Erogon used his body and all 13 of your powers to make an arc in the void. Due to the toll from being in the void for over 700 millenniums, his body deteriorated severely. Only talking to me did not help his mental state either, answered Rosaline. He is going to kill you when he finds out, said Irisvale as she worked her magic. That is strange. Oh, you already found my saving grace? Asked Rosaline. The other three thought, what are they talking about? I think so, said Irisvale. Did you know Alina's soul was in this city too? Yep, said Rosaline. Immediately, she was hit in the head by Mordred, Arthur, and Abigail. You should have warned us. The three shouted. Where is she? Asked Arthur, getting ready to head out. She was stopped by Rosaline. Not yet, she said. We need to locate the other two. Arthur looked at her with slight annoyance but had to agree and sat back down on the bed. 2 days later, so, what have you found, Eerie? Asked Rosaline. Well, some good things, said Irisvale, and some bad things. Spill it, said Mordred. Being cooped up in here is starting to annoy me. Both Shayna and Hecate are in the castle, said Irisvale. Shayna is imprisoned under the summoning ritual for the demon, and Hecate is wandering around as a maid of the castle. As she gave the report, a small amount of aura was released from Rosaline, shocking the group. Continue, said Rosaline, reining back her aura. I'm just not happy about Shayna being imprisoned. Irisvale cleared her throat. Elena is on the north side of the capital. Apparently, she is a high-ranking mage here, so her living conditions haven't changed that much after coming to this world for her queenly duties. Well, at least she isn't in the castle, said Arthur. So, how are we splitting the team? She looked at Rosaline. Rosaline pondered for a moment and clapped her hands together. Okay, I'm going after Elena. Abigail and Mordred go after Hecate, and Irisvale and Arthur go after Shayna. But if the demon is summoned before we rescue them, Arthur and Mordred keep an eye on the demon. If it attacks one of the groups, respond in kind. Right, said both Abigail and Irisvale. Yes, ma'am, responded Mordred and Arthur. I noticed that you left the hardest one to yourself, Rosaline, said Abigail, snickering. Try not to die when she wakes up. They all left the room in the inn and started heading to their respective locations. Chapter 5. Destruction of the Empire 2. The noble district was well kept and well maintained, perfect for a noble's attention to prestige. Marble pillars were used for the richer of the nobles, and bright colors for their extravagant appearance. Such extravagance, said Rosaline. Even in our old world, we weren't this wasteful. Shame that this is going to be a wasteland in a few days. She sensed a true dragon nearby. Wait, is that? Ah crap, don't wake up now, it is far too early. Within Erogon's imaginary space, Erogon himself sensed the other dragon and instantly recognized the aura. He started to stir but fell back to sleep. Well, at least he fell back asleep, Rosaline muttered. Who did? Said a woman's voice behind Rosaline with a sinister tone. Rosaline slowly turned around. She saw a woman with fair skin, hazel dragon eyes, and yellow blonde hair. She stood about 20 centimeters taller than Rosaline. Elena, it's nice to see you again, and with your memories intact, she responded. So, do you want to explain? Said Elena with electricity overflowing from her hand, or should I zap you a few times? No, said Rosaline, let me explain. She started explaining what happened. Damn it, said Elena, he always takes things to the extreme. So, this demon is going to destroy this empire in about 10 to 12 hours from now. Yes, and this is why we're saving Shayna and Hecate, said Rosaline. Because when they evolve, they consume the souls that they killed as a component of their evolution, so saving our allies' souls is sort of a necessity. So, who is getting who? Asked Elena. Who else? Said Rosaline. Irisvale, Abigail, Mordred, and Arthur. Perfect, said Elena, grinning. I know a good meeting point outside of town to watch. Because your timetable is off by 10 hours. Shit, responded Rosaline. How do you know? Because before I was awakened in this body, said Elena, I was one of the court mages for the defense of the castle. In the castle courtyard, the guards were attacking both Arthur and Mordred. How did they bloody know? And where are Abby and Iris? Yelled Mordred, bisecting a guard with her sword. They're looking for the targets, said Arthur, impaling another guard with her spear and blasting it off with a surge of light energy. And I think there was a barrier to detect intruders. Within the castle, Irisvale and Abigail were under stealth spells. So, who's first? asked Abigail. Shayna, responded Irisvale as they headed to where Shayna was being held. Within Shayna's mind, memories from a life she knew and one she didn't remember making floated around. Shayna herself floated in the sea of memories. Who am I? She asked as she looked at the memories all around her. You are you, said a man's voice, no matter the time and world. One of the memories had flames flowing out of it. Who are you to me? Asked Shayna. Your ally, comrade, friend, and like a father figure to you, said the man. I mean your name, said Shayna. Oh, said the man. Forgive me, my name is Alistair. In Shayna's memories, a jeweled pendant appeared. Alistair, repeated Shayna. I see, so that is why I have this power, but why can't I use it now? Most likely it is because the pendant has not manifested yet, said Alistair. Do you want to manifest it? When that happens, both your current life and your old life's memories will merge, and your old skills will fully manifest. What do I need to do? Shayna smirked in her mind, and simultaneously in the real world. State your full name, my blazing eye huntress, said Alistair. Shayna's hair started to radiate heat as embers formed around her, and the magic siphoning chains holding her wrists above her head began to melt away. She opened her eyes, revealing a bright shade of crimson. My name is Shayna the Blazing Hair, Crimson-Eyed Huntress, Shikugan no Shayna, she shouted. A pendant and necklace formed around her neck. Just then, a pair of guards burst into the room. What the? Stammered one of the guards. The prisoner is free, but how? Shouted the other. Shayna held her hand out. As she closed her hand, a katana formed from the flame radiating from her body. She dashed towards them and quickly cut them down. As the guards were cut, their bodies burned in the crimson flame, leaving a pile of ash where they stood. Shayna, are you all right? Asked Alistair, concerned. No, said Shayna. Looking at my memories of living in this world, I realized it is a kill or be killed world, so they gave me no choice. True enough, said a familiar voice. Abby, said Shayna, looking in the direction of the voice and seeing Abigail. It's good to see you. Likewise, said Abigail, and it looks like Hecate has also awakened and is already out of the capital, probably with Elena. Well, ready to get out of here? Yeah, said Shayna as the aura died down. Ah, but that will ruin all the fun, said a man in the shadows approaching them. As he came out of the shadows, he revealed handsome but rough features, blood-red eyes, and wavy, burning hair in a deep shade of rouge. His clothes were draped over himself, revealing a decent amount of skin. A few moments ago, do it, ordered the king. Yes, your majesty, said a group of mages. They began the demon summoning ritual, and it succeeded. They summoned a single demon with wavy burning hair in a deep shade of rouge. A single demon isn't enough to destroy those raiders and destroy the enemy empire, shouted the king. Oh, said the demon, you're quite prideful, but really stupid. So, you want me to kill your enemy empire and the intruders in your castle? Yes, said the king mockingly. Then, the deal is made, and the payment is everything you possess. That includes your citizens, and everything in your possession, said the demon, snapping his fingers. All the mages in attendance fell down dead. What did you do? Stammered the king. Just claimed the souls that were owed to me, but there is a soul I wasn't able to claim below here, so I will go there and claim it, said the demon. The king collapsed as his soul was claimed. Back with Shayna and Abigail. Well, this is interesting, said the demon. Rouge, said Abigail. Shayna, get ready to run. Right, responded Shayna, getting into a combat stance. This is odd, thought Rouge. I could have sworn I felt a soul that was mine to claim, but it's gone, replaced by this soul attached to a primordial spirit of fire? No, it's older and more powerful than that. So you heard of me, but I don't think I heard of you, Rouge said aloud. Not really, said Abigail. My master's manas told me that a certain demon was spying on them but stopped a few weeks ago. Oh, so this master this girl is talking about was that man. Okay, said Rouge, so what business does your master have in this kingdom? Abigail was slightly shocked by the question. He just wanted to save the souls of his old friends and comrades, she responded. Rouge thought for a moment then spoke. And the other two that are approaching are also a part of your group? Most likely, said Abigail, sensing Arthur and Mordred getting closer. Very well, said Rouge as he started to turn around. Let's just say me and your master need to have a talk. He walked away to destroy the other empire from the memories of the mages and king's souls. Both Shayna and Abigail walked towards their allies. That man's aura makes me interested, but I don't feel him nearby, so now that I saw those two, I can find him again easier, thought Rouge. Chapter 6. Deal in slumber outside the castle. Abigail, Arthur, Mordred, Irisvale, and Shayna walked out of the main gate, seeing scores of bodies on the ground, from guards to civilians. Did that demon do this? Asked Shayna. Something like that, said Abigail, appraising one of the bodies. Their souls were removed by the deal the king made with that demon, so it's not our fault. But still, said Arthur, clenching her fist, a king should not sacrifice their citizens like this. They continued through the capital, seeing all the soulless bodies scattered around as their souls were suddenly removed from them. Author note: think Full Metal Alchemist solar eclipse scene. As they left through the main gates, they saw a girl with overly bright water-colored short hair, green eyes, and a white dress. She held a staff with a triangular top featuring 6 smaller triangles, 3 on each side. I have been waiting for you, she said. Hecate, said Shayna, it's nice to see you too, and your melancholy tone. Hecate nodded. They are over there. She pointed with her staff at a tree about a few minutes away. I hate it when you do that, said Mordred as she was about to ask where Elena and Rosaline were. Hecate began to walk back into the capital, but Arthur stopped her. What are you going to do? Asked Arthur. My task, replied Hecate. Elena ordered me to make this capital look like it was attacked by demons and burned to the ground in ruins. But why? Shouted Arthur. Can't we at least honor the dead by not dismembering them like this? Both Shayna and Hecate looked at Arthur with a shocked expression. Arthur, were you awakened in this world or summoned? Asked Hecate. Summoned, said Arthur. Why is there a difference? This world is crueler than our old world at this point in time, said Shayna. You remember what happened to me before I was awakened? This is a world where the strong survive. This plan Elena's using is to cover our tracks in the capital. Arthur's eyes went wide, and she let Hecate go to do her work. I see, she responded and started heading towards the tree where Elena was. Under a large monkey pod tree, 2 people were resting. Elena sat with Erogon resting his head on her lap. You are a huge idiot, she said, chewing out Erogon. I know, said Erogon, but I still accomplished my goal. True, but what are you going to do now? She looked up through the tree. So why were we released and not those souls in your inner world? Erogon sighed. I didn't mean to do that, but they have damaged souls that I found in the void itself, and it will take more time for them to heal than you guys getting used to this world. Oh, said Elena, tilting her head to the side. And there is no other reason? I can tell they're all girls. Erogon flinched slightly. I have no feelings for them. I only have feelings for you, my love. I know, she responded. I just felt like teasing you a little bit. She changed the subject. So while you rest for 40 years, you're going to repair their souls? That's the plan, and get them used to this world, said Erogon. And for that, we need Rouge. He saw the girls approaching. Arthur is pissed. Why? Why would they give such an order? Thought Arthur, thinking about Hecate's orders from Elena and Erogon. If Erogon disapproved of the order, he would deny the order. She looked under the tree, seeing both Elena and Erogon, with Elena brushing Erogon's silver hair with her fingers. I will find out myself. As they approached, crimson flames burst out from the castle and around the capital, engulfing it in flames. Notice, individual known as Rouge has begun to evolve into a demon lord. The harvest festival has begun. Notice, first of 5 seals on the individual known as ErogonWolfsbane has been released. What is this voice? Asked Mordred. The voice of the world, said Elena. It announces events within a certain area and to individuals when creatures or people evolve, or on an individual level when they gain new skills. So since we can hear it, said Abigail, the part was for Erogon, and what about a seal? From what Rosaline told me, said Elena, Erogon was damaged both mentally and physically while traveling through the void, so the creator of this world and Erogon made a deal to seal away his real body in a location for it to recover. Erogon made this body double along with Rosaline's to explore the world and find us. But the mental part wouldn't heal by that logic, said Irisvale, unless. She started to ponder. Arthur realized why the order was given as Hecate returned to the group. He wanted to make a deal for the cover-up, said Arthur, with Rouge. Yes, said Rosaline. We may have to wait a few days till Rouge gets here, but that won't be a problem. They all nodded in agreement. A week passed and there was no sign of Rouge. Hey, said Mordred, do you think he's actually coming back here? Want to bet? Asked Abigail. What are the stakes? Asked Elena, Arthur, and Abigail. Let's see, Mordred thought. How about the winner gets to do something embarrassing to the losers? Fair enough, said Elena. I bet he is going to arrive in 5 hours. Irisvale, no divination spells. I'm not participating, said Irisvale. I bet tomorrow, said Arthur. I bet in 3 hours, said Abigail. I say 3 days, said Mordred. I say in 5 minutes, said Erogon, waking up. He just finished fighting Velda, now he's coming here. No fair, said the betters. It's no fun if you spoil it. Bets off, said Elena, frustrated. And true to his word, Rouge, the primordial red, landed near them in around 5 minutes. As the dust settled, Rouge saw the man that piqued his interest being wailed on in a playful tone by the girls around him. This man is stronger than them, and he allows that? Thought Rouge. 2 other demons landed near Rouge. They were both wearing maid uniforms, one with green hair and the other with blue hair. My lord, said the green-haired one, why are you interested in these people? As she looked at the group, she did not realize what they were until the words left her lips. Wait, is that 2 true dragons? We are so dead. We have no reason to fight at this moment, said Erogon. Don't you agree, Rouge? True enough, responded Rouge. I think we can help each other in some form or another. This Erogon is stronger now, but how? Wait, the voice of the world said one of 5 seals broke, so when I evolved into a true demon lord, one of his seals broke? So what do you need? Rouge asked. A place to rest, responded Erogon, for about 40 years. In exchange, we can spar at that time. Just you, said Rouge, raising an eyebrow. Erogon snickered. And my wife Elena. The rest are going to explore this world. He started to explain to Rouge about the deal he made with Veldanava and the condition he was in, but excluding the souls within him. If that's all he needs, it's a simple request, and I do gain a future fight, Rouge thought. As Rouge pondered the request, the blue-haired maid started walking towards Erogon but was stopped by Arthur. I am sorry, miss, said Arthur. Any closer and you might be killed and sent back to hell. My master has little control over his aura. Even you might not survive with your current power. Why do you say that? Said the maid, releasing some of her demonic energy. I think I'm stronger than you. Arthur just smiled and also released some of her aura as well, showing her power was double that of the maid's and was divine in nature. So a demigod, said the green-haired maid. Most troubling. Vert, blue, said Rouge, that's enough. What she said is true. You two don't feel it, but right behind her is a highly sensitive barrier. If intruders were to enter, they would be eviscerated in both body and soul. The caster of this barrier is that girl, he thought, looking at Elena. She just smiled. Also, Erogon is lying about something. Is there anything else you need, Erogon? Rouge asked. Not really, said Erogon, nodding slightly. Just a small request that you can do. There might be a demon in your peerage that is an ally of mine that likes to use blackish red lightning. If she is down there, I would like to know. As he fell asleep, his aura slowly crept out, shocking all 3 of the primordial demons. Wait, this is only with 1/5 of his power restored, said Rouge. Yes, responded Elena, dropping the barrier. He told me that you're going to make a castle out of ice in the north. Erogon wanted to rest there if that is fine. Rouge nodded. Can you transport him while he's asleep? Said Rouge. Easily, said Elena, carrying Erogon as his body changed to Rosaline's form. I knew she would do that. His manas? Asked Rouge. Yep, said Elena. You girls are free to do as you please, but keep it on the down low. Yes, responded everyone in Erogon's group as they started to leave in separate ways. Arthur and Mordred stayed together, Irisvale and Abigail stuck together, and Shayna and Hecate stayed together. You ready? Said Elena, ready to follow Rouge. Yes, said Rouge. He thought for a moment and looked at Vert and Blue. I shall name you both. Looking at Vert, he said, Misery, then Blue, Rain, and they accepted the names. Now I'm ready. He started walking north, followed by Elena carrying Rosaline, and behind them, the newly named Misery and Rain. Within Erogon's mind formed a meadow of wheat fields with 3 doors. One door looked old and rusted, releasing a dark aura. The second looked like a cell door, and the third looked like a hospital room door. "So that one holds my own evil," said Erogon, looking at the rusted one. "That one holds the dark side of Equinox." He looked at the cell door, "and now my targets." He looked at the hospital door. "Let's begin." He opened the door. Chapter 7. Restoring Lost Souls. As Erogon passed through the door, the meadow changed into a lily field of many different colors, with 15 women slumbering within the field. On closer inspection, he realized some of them looked like twins or even triplets. Analyze. As he viewed their abilities and souls, he thought, "Shit, the damage is more severe than I thought, and some are the same person. I will have to alter that with the repair work on their souls." As he pondered for answers, another question popped up in his mind. "I have never dealt with this much with a soul. I've done this with a few bodies, but not like this. I need someone who has, or I'm firing off in the dark on this." He created a chair to sit on and pondered for some time. Hours turned to days, days to weeks, and after all the pondering he did, a month had passed. "Ah!" he shouted. "Damn it! Damn it! Damn it!" He threw the chair far into the distance. "No matter how much I think about this, the solution is still the same. I don't know how to alter souls. I mean, I don't want to use my divinity to do it, but..." He looked at them. They are lesser deities in their own right, and 3 of them are normal deities. No, 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 no. Within the Ice Palace, there was a room hidden from the rest of Rouge's subordinates. It was a room half the size of the main throne room. Within this room, at its center, was a double bed with fine linens for a royal, and one person was sleeping in the bed, a girl with yellow blonde hair and yellow eyes. Recently she had gained the title, Lightning Empress. She stirred and looked behind the bed. Behind the bed was a large cocoon of black silk covering some large creature within it. "So he still hasn't stirred after that was formed?" asked Rouge from the open doorway. "No," said Elena, yawning. "Once he took that form, he hasn't stirred one bit." She turned to look at Rouge. "Is there anything you want?" "No," said Rouge. "I just wanted to inform you that I will not be in the Ice Palace for a few days." "Oh, something caught your interest?" asked Elena. "A human," said Rouge. "He became this world's first true hero. And as this world's first demon lord, you want to compare yourself to him," said Elena, laying back down. "I won't leave this room for now until you return." She headed back to sleep. "I might bring my partner next time," whispered Rouge as he closed the door. Elena just waved her tail of pure lightning at the whisper. As Rouge closed the door, a seal automatically formed on it. He walked down a small corridor with Misery and Rain until it opened to the main hall, and both Misery and Rain cast a spell to hide the corridor. "So you didn't tell them I was here," said a woman waiting with pale skin, blue eyes, and white hair, Velzard, one of the 4 true dragons of this world. "And why did I not sense Erogon here, but the other one seems strong?" "Erogon has some sort of cocoon around him," said Rouge, walking towards his throne. "It blocks all forms of aura leaking out, and she is like the guardian of that cocoon." They got to the throne room. "Master," said Misery, "why is Miss Elena here when your deal is with Erogon?" Rain nodded, wanting to know as well. "Simple," said Rouge. "Having both true dragons from another world in one location is the best option at this moment till we find out their objective. Their other companions are extremely powerful, but they're not using their power for any nefarious acts." "True," said Rain, "so it's also your position as a moderator of the world that made you do this?" "Yep," said Rouge, looking at them, then at Velzard. "Mind watching over them?" "Not really," said Velzard, "but if one comes out, I will most likely play with them for a bit." "That's fine," said Rouge, starting to leave. "I will be back." He took off towards the southeast. "I do feel sorry for him," said Elena, walking out from a shadow behind a pillar, "but I had to tell him that Erogon's slumber is longer than he thought." "True," said Velzard. "If you didn't tell him he would be even more pissed, that Erogon's true slumber is 400 years. In your world's dragon terms, 1 year for them is 10 for humans." "Yeah," said Elena, yawning. "Maybe in a few days, we'll have some fun, okay?" "Sure," said Velzard, grinning. Back in Erogon's mind, 3 summoning circles formed from magic were being cast at the same time, one of divine energy, one spiritual, and the last demonic. "Let's hope this works." He channeled some of his magicules into the circles and began summoning. After a few moments, all three glowed at the same time. The divine circle summoned someone that looked like Veldanava, but one look at his soul and Erogon knew it was someone else entirely. From the spirit circle, it summoned Ramirez grinning. And finally, the demon circle summoned a man with black hair with red and yellow highlights, with black pupils and yellow irises. Well, said the demon, it is rare to see three powerful beings summoned to the same place. He looked at the angel and Ramirez. True, said the angel. Anyways, Noir, shall we finish what we started at the last war? You will not have that here, Noir, Feldway, said Erogon, releasing some of his true aura, which caused all three of them to stumble from the sheer size and density. I would like to work under him, but I think that will be an impossibility, thought Noir. Yes, let's stop here. So what do you require from us? He said. Well, said Erogon, explaining the situation and pointing to the group of girls sleeping in the field. Got any suggestions? May we examine them? Asked Feldway, as Erogon nodded. All three began examining them, body and soul, with Analyze under Erogon's watchful gaze. Oh, said Ramirez, where are you right now? I haven't seen you in years. Years? Said Erogon. I thought it was only a few months ago, and I'm resting in Rouge's ice palace. Master, said Rosaline as she appeared beside him, they go by human time here, not our world's dragon time. Erogon slapped his face, realizing his mistake. Shit, responded Erogon. Please tell me Elena fixed my mistake. Rosaline nodded, and he realized something. Rosaline. He looked at her and tilted his head. Did you know this before I made that deal? Rosaline started sweating. Yes, master. As she answered, her face went pale, and she vanished. Spend a week with him, said Erogon, annoyed. After a little while, Feldway, Ramirez, and Noir came walking back to where Erogon was sitting. As Erogon was waiting for them to analyze the girls, he conjured a few chairs and a table with snacks and drinks for their discussion. So any ideas? Asked Erogon. Before I give my answer, I would like you to answer some of mine, said Feldway, sitting down in a seat across from Erogon. Same here, said Noir, sitting down as well. And you as well, Ramirez? Said Erogon, looking at her as she sat down in her adult form. Yes, she answered, but my questions might be answered through theirs. Fair enough, ask your questions, said Erogon. Let's start with you, Feldway. He nodded. Are you here to destroy this world? Asked Feldway. No, said Erogon, and if your next question is about why I saved those girls, is because I thought they should have a better life than the one they had in their world. Feldway leaned back on the chair and pondered his words as Noir spoke up. How many allies do you possess in this world? By that I meant their souls, because I saw what happened in that empire and your two allies that were there. Ah, said Erogon, I know I sensed someone new watching me. If my memory serves me correctly, there are about 294 souls, but they're spread across time and a few worlds in this dimension. Are they all as powerful as you? Asked Ramirez before both Feldway and Noir could ask. No, said Erogon. If I had to compare their average power for them, it would be about as strong as Rouge before he became a true demon lord, but that is the average. Our old world had 5 times the magicule count than this world but was incredibly unstable. So their power may weaken to that of powerful Majins. He took a sip of the tea casually. Bullshit, shouted Feldway. Those 4 you summoned are more powerful than Rouge and you know it. They're exceptions, stated Erogon, and it's not just those 4. I have 13 people that have a more direct connection to my soul, so their power was unchanged. As Erogon's words sank in for both Feldway and Noir, they realized something and glanced at each other, thinking the same thing. This person is stronger than Veldanava but is a lot more carefree in attitude. So any more questions? Asked Erogon. No, replied the 3. Well, I can say that I have no idea, said Ramirez. They have spirits but their egos were destroyed, and that is a soul issue. She looked depressed and looked at Feldway. Well, I have an idea but I want to hear Noir's thoughts, said Feldway, looking at Noir. My proposition is to destroy a few souls and create new egos from those souls, said Noir as he looked at Erogon, but I think that is not what you want to do. Erogon nodded in agreement. Then my proposal is to shave off a small percentage of human souls to make substitute egos and have them experience this world through your eyes and your subordinates' eyes, said Feldway, but from what I can tell you don't have a skill that can do that. Not exactly, said Erogon. The issue is that the person that has the skill is not in the world yet. He raised his right arm and created and activated a magic circle and used the skill gate of beasts. From within the circle, a womanly figure bound in golden chains keeping her in a kneeling position appeared. She had blue hair and 2 massive horns protruding from her head. The aura she gave off was massive but half as dense as Eragon's, with a mix of divine power within it. "Master, what do you need of me to partly summon me?" said the woman. "Tiamat, I need to use one of your skills," said Erogon, getting up and walking towards her. "Do you refuse me?" Divine power, thought Feldway. This girl has as much power as Erogon had before the first seal was removed. How can she be a mere servant to him? "Of course," said Tiamat. "If you haven't summoned me physically yet, you can't use my skills and abilities, as per our deal with the 13 of us." So that's the deal with those 4 he summoned earlier, thought Feldway and Ramirez. Erogon is way too powerful, thought Noir, but it will be fun to observe him for now. "So what do you want?" asked Erogon. "To be the next one summoned," said Tiamat. "You still have access to the chains of heaven with Castor already out, so there shouldn't be a problem." Erogon sighed. "All right." He placed his left hand on her head and whispered something into her ear. "Notice, temporary release of beast's power approved." As the voice of the world finished speaking in Eragon's mind, Tiamat vanished, and Eragon's form changed slightly, with one of Tiamat's horns protruding out from the right side of his head and the right eye resembling Tiamat's. Immediately he spoke some words, and a flash of light blinded the 3 people with Erogon. As Rouge was fighting a young man and Velgrand was watching the fight, the man suddenly took a knee as if he got attacked by something. "What the hell?" said the man. "Rouge, was this you?" "No, Rudra," said Rouge. "I don't have that kind of power, and from what I sense, it wasn't just you that was affected by it." He looked around, and all of the garrison soldiers were in a condition almost like they were winded. "What could have done this?" asked Velgrand, concerned. "No idea, but whoever it was couldn't have gone unnoticed by every powerful person in the world," said Rudra. "That's the problem," said Rouge. "I don't sense the source." "Hey, your name is too complicated," said Rudra. "Why don't I just call you Guy?" As he pondered for a moment. "Yeah, Guy Crimson." Rouge smiled. "Out of respect for each other, I will accept that name." The red primordial demon, Rouge, gained a new name, Guy Crimson. As the light faded, down within Eragon's hands sat an orb of pure energy ready to be used. How many souls did he shave off from? Thought the 3 of them as Erogon got to work. He separated the energy into 15 parts, 3 larger than the others for the higher divine beings, and created pseudo-personalities in them, each with their respective memories Erogon gained from their respective bodies, and began the process of merging them with the damaged souls. But a problem occurred. Is their body's power rejecting the new egos? But why? No, the source of their power is similar to null energy, so maybe. He examined the null energy within them, destroyed the pseudo-personalities, and returned the energy back to their respective souls. "Why did you do that?" said a shocked Noir and Feldway. "Because I found their egos," said Erogon. "They were hidden within the energy from their world, but it is similar to null energy and kept their egos safe from the void." "Oh," said Ramirez. "Now, can I go now? I need some things to take care of." Erogon opened a portal. "Yeah, just step on that," said Erogon, as Ramirez stepped on it and vanished from within Eragon's mind. "I will take my leave now," said Noir, walking through the portal. "Before you go, Feldway," said Erogon before he walked into the portal. "Yes," said Feldway, looking at Eragon's grim gaze. "We need to have a discussion," said Erogon, sitting back down in one of the chairs as the transformation slowly faded. Feldway nodded and sat down across from him. "So what do we need to discuss?" said Feldway. "Veldanava's human death is approaching soon," said Erogon, which shocked Feldway. "I have the ability to see timelines of past, present, and future events, and this event happens in every timeline. It's what mages called it in my world, a time lock. This event must happen no matter what. But during that time his wife will also die, leaving his daughter alone with a baby dragon. So you can see it but can't change this event," said Feldway angrily. "I cannot, but Veldanava will not be truly dead," said Erogon, surprising Feldway. "He will start searching for his wife's soul and evolve her into a true dragon. But that will take a long time, so don't think he left this world forever." Feldway pondered Eragon's words and realized why he would tell him this truth of the timeline. "I see," so this is a warning to not have me lose hope. They both smiled. But I do have one final question for you. Go on, said Erogon. It's more of a request. I wish to feel your true power, said Feldway. It's also for me to believe in the words you just told me. So you knew, said Erogon, grinning. Yes, since this is within your mind, your power here would be unrestricted from Veldanava's seals, said Feldway. Erogon closed his eyes and began to slowly release his aura around his body. Feldway watched intently at Erogon's aura. It felt like a deep lake, but bottomless and stable. As Erogon began to open his eyes slowly, his aura exploded and changed from a lake to the extreme expanse of space between worlds and beyond that. But before it grew more, it vanished from Feldway's senses. What just happened? Asked Feldway. So that is your limit, said Erogon, to a point where someone's aura expands and intensifies till it vanishes from their perspective, but any more beyond that and just being near them will instantly kill them. I see, said Feldway. And how much is that of your power? Around 45%, said Erogon. If someone was in the area where it went beyond that limit, what happens then? Asked Feldway. They cease to exist at all, said Erogon. Their body and soul turns to ashes, and that ash blows away in the wind. Feldway got up and started to leave. Thank you for the information, said Feldway, walking into the portal, and the portal closed. As the portal closed, Erogon looked at the girls. I know you're awake, Hersher of the Void, said Erogon. He, said one of the girls with purple hair and yellow eyes with crosshairs in her eyes as she opened them. How did you know? She stood up, more like floated up, and stood there looking at Erogon. Only someone like you can protect egos in the void, said Erogon, but as a payment, you all lost your names. True, said the girl, but like I care. She tried to use her power to escape but quickly realized her power was sealed. What the? For deities like you girls, names are everything, said Erogon. Without names, you're powerless. But I can give you and your friends new names. Why help us? Said the girl. 2 reasons, said Erogon. First is that I like your group's determination and free will, and secondly, if I give you names I will have access to your abilities and aid you in stabilizing your power and shortening the time you girls have to stay in here. As the Hersher of the Void pondered her options, some of the other girls woke up, and Erogon explained the situation and options to them. Wait, where is Hamiko? Said one of the girls with white hair and purple highlights. So that was her name, said Erogon, tossing a broken red blade towards her. Hersher of Finality, I am sorry. She did not make it. How? Said the Hersher of Finality. The Void is a cruel place, said Erogon. If you travel without some protection or have null energy strong enough to counter the Void, your body and soul will be fine, but she didn't have either of those. And the Void is unforgiving. As all the girls were in mourning for the loss of their friend, another one of the Hershers spoke up. Did she reincarnate? Asked a girl with pink hair and purple eyes. Luckily yes, said Erogon, and from what I can tell, she might be in this world. The girl's hope rose. So all you want from us is to use our powers within your limits. In exchange, we gain names, said the same girl. Yes, said Erogon. The Hershers pondered for a few weeks before they returned to Erogon as he was now resting on a sofa he created. He also created a few items of comfort for the Hershers to have their discussion in peace. Erogon felt their approach and opened one eye. So, what's your verdict? He asked. We would like the names, said the Hersher of Finality. I forgot to mention that in some cases when given a name, your form might change slightly, so for the 2 of you without a face, your face might be revealed, said Erogon, but it's not a bad thing, and most of the time it's to your benefit. We don't mind, said the 2 girls. Very well, said Erogon, sitting up. Let's begin. The girls made a line in front of Erogon as Erogon was pondering names for them. The first girl was a girl with grayish silver hair with silver eyes and a battle dress with blue inlays. From the memories from the others, her name was Branya Zaychik, the Hersher of Reason and Truth, but this form is the latter. Hersher of Reason, your new name is Agaya. Thank you, said the Hersher of Reason as she glowed. My name is now Agaya. She walked away and sat down on a sofa away from Erogon to view her skills and abilities. The next one up was the Hersher of the Void. Surin, said Erogon as she accepted the name without hesitation. And the next one was a girl with dark purple hair with lighter purple eyes and dual red oni horns on her forehead. Ah, if their memory is correct, her name was Raiden May, the Hersher of Thunder and Origin. This form is the latter so. Kaminari, said Erogon, or Kami for short. I thank you for the name, said the Hersher of Thunder. Next was a girl with black hair with green undertones and green eyes. Erogon pondered for a second. Hayate, responded Erogon, and she nodded and collapsed. Oh shit! Erogon started to get up. It's fine, said Kami. Her ego is a little weak, so she might need some more time to get used to the new power. She walked up and helped her to the new sofa. Erogon sat back down and saw who was next. Agea, please come over here to help her if she collapses. Agea nodded and walked over. Erogon looked at her and thought of a name quickly. For your name, Hersher of Ice, will be Fuyuko. She nodded and collapsed just like Hayate. The next person was a pair of what looked like twins with black hair and red undertones along with the same eye color. If memory serves me correctly, her original name is Ciel, the Hersher of both death and rebirth. He glanced behind her and saw the rebirth form behind her. She had purplish silver undertones and similar eye color. Hersher of death and Hersher of rebirth, your names shall be Fuji and Yukina, said Erogon as they accepted their names and left the line. The next person was a girl with silver gray hair and reddish-orange eyes and had a tomboy's demeanor. If their memory is correct from the other, this person was a false creation of a person named Fu Wa. Hersher of sentience, your name shall be Kagami, he responded, and she accepted the name. And wait here for the next one, she has a slightly weak aura. Kagami nodded and stood by Erogon's side, waiting for the next person to be named. Within the Ice Palace, a few days had passed. Elena and Velzard played a little, and Guy returned furious that one of the bouts with Rudra was interrupted by someone interfering with the hero's soul, and he had a good idea who it was. He kicked the door off its hinges from Erogon and Elena's room. What's wrong, Rouge? Said Elena, shocked about the door. It's Guy now, said Rouge, and I need to speak to your husband about something. But his aura read differently. He's pissed about something, thought Elena, and if I say no... She flared up her aura for the first time since playing with Velzard. Wait, she has divinity too? No, that is not from her. It feels more like it's residual from being near Erogon for centuries and developed over a few years, thought Guy. If I can't ask him, then maybe you can answer this. Can Erogon shave parts of a soul off and then restore it if it wasn't necessary? Not without his servant classified as beast, said Elena, but she hasn't been summoned yet. The only other way is to make a deal with her. So who is this person? Said Guy, lowering his aura, and Elena did the same. Tiamat, said Elena, an ancient god that was worshipped long ago but became an evil of humanity. Her other title was the Primordial Sea. So she literally can do anything that has life, including the undead. So how is she a servant to your husband? Asked Guy. It's a long story that Erogon should explain, said Elena, but to give a short version, she couldn't move around freely without Erogon's intervention, and the conditions of her moving around are to serve Erogon, because he has to keep an eye on her. So in other words, he restricts her abilities, and he gains the ability to use them and allows her to move around freely, said Guy. Yay, said Elena. Currently she is locked up under Erogon's skill gate of beasts, being one of the beasts of humanity. What are these beasts of humanity? Asked Guy. No idea, only Erogon knows that, said Elena. He keeps that from everyone, even me. The only thing he mentioned is that if people knew, they would be more fearful of Tiamat's presence in the world. Well, we will have to ask him when he wakes up in 30 years, said Guy, picking up the door to fix it. Wait, that's shorter than the agreement, said Elena. Not my fault. Veldanava wants all true dragons to meet his daughter that will be born in 20 years on her 10th birthday, said Guy. Elena sighed. All right, can't disagree with that. Back within Erogon's mind, he had already named the Hersher of Rhymestar, Kogetsu, and she collapsed as well. Kagami helped her get to a sofa as they rested to get used to the new names. The next person walked forward. The Hersher of Flameshin and Finality. With all the lesser Hershers, they took about 5% of my true power, so the final 3 should take about 15% of it so. He began to point at people in line. I have grown bored of simply naming you girls one at a time so, as Erogon got up and started down the line, Hersher of Flameshin, your name is Hanoka. He put his hand on her shoulder as he passed her. Hersher of Truth, your name is. As Erogon blacked out,